shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The story you were about to see
is this Dragnet, Jason?
The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Wow. Colonel Potter was on Dragnet from MASH, wasn't he? And then, of course, the movie with Dan Aykroyd. That was actually pretty good. I think Colonel Potter from MASH was on that as well. Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday. Hey, Chris, I don't know if in the green one right now the TV's on, but Cox Channel 4, you could probably check out the program right down the hall if you want. Chris is visiting our studios. The Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios on a wide open Wednesday. Jason's at the controls, a.k.a. the Raging Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black. Fielding your phone calls, pushing the buttons, turning the knobs, all that fun stuff. Yeah, you, right, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. I love Wide Open Wednesday. You want to know why? Because you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. Maybe there's something we're missing. Maybe there's something we're not discussing enough. Locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, whatever you'd like to discuss. I'm not scared of any topics. We don't screen callers, and we don't cut you off if we disagree. It's Wide Open Wednesday. You're the show producer. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Latram, the global manufacturing giant. Incredible story at Latram. J.M. LePere back in 1949 as a kid, as a teen, stepping on a shrimp with his rubber boots on. And the peeling stayed behind and the shrimp squirted out. And because J.M. LePere was a genius, he went home and the old, washing machine, the manual crank one from the olden days that you'd feed the clothes through, the 2 black rubber wheels, you crank it through to dry them out after you ran them on the old, on that board. He kind of adjusted those wheels where the shrimp squirted out and the peeling stayed behind. And that was basically the predecessor to what became the shrimp peeling machine. He invented that. And then he needed to upgrade the conveyor belt system on the shrimp peeling machine and came up with the all plastic modular conveyor belts. Both of those J.M. LePere inventions are still the industry standard worldwide 70 years plus later. Absolutely an amazing story. A culture of innovation at Latram. This company has hundreds and hundreds of worldwide patents. Only the Research University Tulane has more patents than Latram in the area. And guess what? Because they're on every continent on the planet, this New Orleans born and bred based company is hiring. All they do is grow and grow and grow and have been for decades. And because of that, if you go to their website, Latram.com, they have a full listing of positions available. Latram.com, Latram spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latram.com. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Latram on this wide open Wednesday. A slew of topics as usual. Sheriff Susan Hutson, very inexperienced. New Orleans is not a city where, because of our violent crime problem, where you want the sheriff learning on the job. But that's exactly what's going on, because in New Orleans, we like, clinging to stuff like in Louisiana, Republican or Democrat or against Republican or Democrat, black and white. These things trump rational, reasonable thought that I'm not going to say every place in America is well run and efficient, but the places that have a booming economy, that have folks flocking there to live, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, Austin. We mention them all the time. Charlotte. These places sort of, hey, let's do what's best. Let's do what's best for me, what's best for the community, and black or white or Republican or Democrat is a secondary type thing. Politics are secondary in most of these booming cities. The business community leads. The business community leads. In New Orleans and in Louisiana, sadly, politics still lead. And when you have characters like Edwin Edwards and Bill Jefferson and John Alario, how do you expect to compete and win? You can't have any expectations to compete and win. Sheriff Susan Hutson is an example of that type of deal. Running for sheriff. Marlon Gusman, an 18-year incumbent. I'm not sitting here touting Marlon Gusman or saying, what a great sheriff's department. Sheriff's office is under a consent decree like the NOPD. But Susan Hutson, her experience in running a sheriff's department is zero. Her experience in law enforcement essentially is zero. The most folks that she has been the boss over is about 8 people. 8. Single digits. And now she's learning on the fly to be the sheriff for the city of New Orleans. And we know a lot of the screw-ups already. Her communications director, a disbarred lawyer, hires the guy that used to run the Juvenile Justice Center who was about to get canned by Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Resigns ahead of getting fired, and Susan Hutson scoops him up, and it makes sense because his mother was working for Susan Hutson, making about $180,000 a year with no experience. You remember Kristen Morales? She got fired from the Office of Inspector General for stealing Office of Inspector General property, city property, taxpayer-owned property. She gets fired. Susan Hutson scoops her up, makes her the Mr. Spock to Captain Kirk, her second in charge, Deputy Sheriff Kristen Morales. Not a lot of experience in law enforcement. Got fired from another city agency for theft. But like hiring the mother of the son that she hired, or hiring the son of the mother that was working for her for $180,000, Kristen Morales was Susan Hudson's former roommate. They're friends. They're pals. So she hires her buddy and makes her deputy sheriff. No, it's a family affair at the sheriff's office. And apparently over Mardi Gras, $20,000 in hotel rooms for Kristen Morales, Assistant Sheriff Laura Veazey, and other high-end folks that are tight that work for Sheriff Susan Hutson. A lot of Marlon Gusman's folks left. A lot of Marlon Gusman's folks were let go. They weren't towing the new company line that Susan Hutson was pushing. I don't know if you remember when Harry Connick stepped down or didn't run again for DA. Eddie Jordan comes in. Bill Jefferson basically was like, fire all of Connick's white people and bring in exclusively black folks. And kind of like the United States in Iraq, you know, get rid of all the Baathists, get rid of all of Saddam Hussein's folks. It's like, you want to keep some of them because some of them, crooked or not, know how things are run in the country. Monitor them, stay on top of them, but you don't want to get rid of all of them. And Eddie Jordan had major problems in that DA's office because he followed Bill Jefferson's lead and fired all of Harry Connick's folks. Susan Hutson having the same problems, getting rid of all of Marlon Gusman's folks. There's no one there that knows how to run the sheriff's department, knows how to run the jail. But her pals get $20,000 in perks. It's just so petty and pathetic. It reeks of Ray Nagin running up the city credit card on meals with his wife. You know, someone walks up to me and asks me something. I'm doing mayor's work. That's why I put it on the city credit card. Just pathetic. Just copping a free meal. Just that petty, that weak. LaToya Cantrell does it with meals and junkets and staying at the Puntalba. Just ridiculous, petty. And Susan Hutson, like, let's toss a bone to my pals and my higher-ups. Toss them a bone and get them a hotel room over Mardi Gras? Just weak. Weak. Speaking of weak, a 17-year-old robbed at gunpoint in New Orleans East, Bundy and Dwyer, 6:15 in the morning, waiting on a bus. I don't know, 17-year-old's probably waiting on a bus to go to school. You want to know who robbed him at gunpoint? 2 female juveniles arrested for the robbery. The N-bomb on a banana at the Metairie St. Patrick's Day parade. Really? Someone threw a banana with the N-bomb written on it? Seriously? 2023. That's funny?
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the Italian sausage with peppers or the soft-shell crab ravioli. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool side. NOLAAC.com, your cool side.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, that Mandeville location of the Woodhouse Day Spa opened yesterday. That means 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. To celebrate the new Mandeville location, we're giving away some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates, some gift cards at the Woodhouse. Still have a couple of holdover questions. Oldest building in the lower Mississippi River Valley. If you know the answer to that, I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. The most popular Cajun name is Hebert, like Bobby Hebert. What's the second most popular Cajun name? There's an elected official in Louisiana with that last name. You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. You know the rules, too, for our trivia question. No Yahoo, no Google, no DuckDuckGo, no Bing, no search engines, no intranet device. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. We got the United States' costliest natural disaster, Hurricane Katrina. Some say nearly $190 billion. What's the United States' costliest man-made disaster? Man-made disaster, about $65 billion. Wow. The Treaty of Paris. What did the Treaty of Paris accomplish? What did it do? New Orleans is involved in the Treaty of Paris. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. In 1937, this New Orleans recipe became what item? It's a dessert item, a sugary dessert item. In 1937, this New Orleans recipe became what item? Today, it's a North Carolina company with a red and green colored logo. He's a Tennessee native, former governor of Florida, presidential candidate, New Orleans hero. Who am I talking about? The old French Quarter streetcar line that ran through the Marigny ended in the Bywater, named after this Bywater street. 766-9480. 766-9480. Let's head to the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480 on this wide open Wednesday. Rob joins us in New Orleans. What's happening, Rob?
Hey, I wanted to answer at least one question. That's a lot of questions.
Yeah. I only want one answer. You know, you're only eligible for one. I got a question for you outside of that real quick, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
How incredibly nauseating is it? Just pathetic, worthless, ridiculous. It's 2023. And apparently some child caught a banana, a black kid, on Metairie Road.
I saw that.
With the N-bomb on the banana. I mean, first off, it's a banana, which, you're throwing cabbage and stuff like that. So I don't know if a banana's off limits or not. But then when I think, okay, you're throwing it to a black kid, it's got the N-bomb on it. Obviously, it's got a double meaning there. St. Patrick's Day parade in Metairie, beautiful day, folks out enjoying themselves, family event, children there. What does that say about certain people in Metro New Orleans? I mean, it's mind-blowing that still goes on and someone thinks that's creative or funny or something.
I saw that on the news yesterday and it blew me away. I mean, you see a lot of that stuff these days, unfortunately, but that was just so low. And I think there's going to be some repercussions to this, like maybe a boycott of the parade. I'll tell you one thing they should definitely do. If the people that caught it remember which float or got a picture, you got to find out who did that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it would be, first off, a moron like that is showing it to other riders. A moron like that isn't doing it secretly all by himself and giggling to himself. He's an idiot. He's a moron. So he's showing other riders. Other riders saw it. Obviously, no one said, "You're crazy, Jim, don't do that." Or if they did, he ignored it. I think with just the slightest bit, Joe Lapinto and his crew, with just the slightest bit of effort, could find out exactly where that banana came from.
Yeah, I was surprised on the news last night that there was no mention of that, but the family had it. It was handwritten, like there was a hand blocking it. You saw the letter N. You knew what the rest of it was.
No, and it looked like a Sharpie, maybe.
Yeah, that or maybe a ballpoint pen, but it was a pen. And so someone just, they got to find out who did that. And I was surprised that there was no reference to that they would, they did have the president of the crew saying, sorry about it or whatever, or he said this doesn't represent us and stuff like that. But,
I think that's fair to say. I don't think that represents them.
Right, but they got to do a little more than that. They got to make an example out of whoever did that, so it doesn't happen again.
No, and that person doesn't get to ride ever again. They're ousted from the parade. Ideally, there's some law. That person broke. I can't think what that law would be. But at the very least, the person needs to be exposed by name publicly. Maybe he gets fired. Maybe people that deal with him won't work with him anymore. And then, at the very least, he is exposed and does not get to participate in the St. Patrick's Day parade anymore, is ousted.
I mean, there might be a hate crime or hate speech law that pertains to that, but if no action, no disciplinary action is taken, I think there'll probably be some kind of boycott against the parade, next year,
Yeah, and I think the president or whoever you mentioned saying that doesn't represent us, I think that's fair. And, I think it's just some idiot. It's like these Mardi Gras crews where you have folks throwing the Confederate flag beads. Just idiots,
But the problem, if they don't do something, I'll bet there are some people out there who got a kick out of it, and you could get a copycat crime. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, there's no doubt. I remember when Obama was president, I would get these random emails, and it would be like an Aborigine wearing like a loincloth with just a, crazy hair kind of piece and by a fire, and it'd be Barack Obama at work, and I'm like, and it'd be like 50 people on this email chain, and I'm like, I'm like so pathetic. I'm like, really? That it's supposed to be funny. Who finds this funny? This is comedy for someone. I'm just people are just warped, man. Broken people.
There's one big difference. Those kind of those e-blasts are going to have fake identities. You'd have a hard time tracking that person down. The person that wrote and threw on that banana and threw it,
yep,
they can find him. They can find that person.
They can definitely find that person, Rob, I think, with just the slightest bit of effort. I agree.
Right, and make an example out of them.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. I did see that yesterday, Corey, and it's very disturbing.
No, it is. It's just like, you're like, really? There are human beings that still think like that act like that find that humorous, that do it in a public setting, that think they're going to get away with it. I can go on and on and on. It's mind blowing. Right. It really is. And then I'm thinking about some young black kid that catches that banana and sees that word on that and just, what is that? How does that make him feel? And just the child, and then the mother or father seeing that. How do they feel about it? And are they wanted in Metairie? It's maybe their neighborhood, and just on and on and on and on. And just
I mean, it's deeply hurtful. I mean, on a deep level. And the other thing is, whoever threw that, think about this, did it and anonymously with a mask on. Like, what kind of coward is that? I mean, if you're going to do something so heinous, at least own it, I mean, that person is, not taking responsibility for it.
Well, it's reminiscent of like the KKK all sheeted up,
Right.
Anyway, what else is on your mind, Rob?
Oh, well, I was just, you asked me that question, but coincidentally, I saw that yesterday. No, I was just calling because you just asked about 10 questions, and I want to answer at least one of them, All
right, pick one, and hopefully you're right. You got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse.
The first one was oldest building in the Mississippi River Valley. That would be the Ursuline Convent.
The oldest building in the lower Mississippi River Valley, the Ursuline Convent in the quarter you're talking about, like the nun's house?
No, yes, exactly.
Huh. That's an excellent. No, go ahead.
Yeah, not the school uptown.
In the French Quarter. That is an interesting guess, and that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, you right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Excellent work, Rob. Got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Who's getting that bad boy, by the way?
Oh, I don't know. Yes, I got to think about that. I probably not myself. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yep. Thanks so much, man. Hang on, all right?
All right, thank you.
I think that building goes back, by the way, to 1727. So it's nearly 300 years old. Pretty amazing. Good job, Rob. Jason's going to get some info from you, and we'll tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. I like Rob's answer, not only because it was correct, because I know Rob didn't cheat and use the intranet device. No intranet device, no cheating. You either know the answer or you don't. Most popular Cajun name is A-Bear. What's the second most popular Cajun name? You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The United States' costliest man-made disaster. What did the Treaty of Paris do? 1937, this New Orleans recipe became what sugary dessert item or breakfast item? A Tennessee native, former governor of Florida, presidential candidate, New Orleans hero. Old French Quarter streetcar line. Give me the name. 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The city's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. See.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLA.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations. New Orleans, NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
It's guitar aficionado Sonny Landreth from Cajun Country, Lafayette. Boy, is he good. Eric Clapton said, better than me. Eric Clapton says Sonny Landreth's one of the best guitarists in the world. I would agree. I've checked him out live a few times. Pretty amazing. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. How does someone put the N-bomb, handwritten, it looks like, on a banana and throw at that kid on Metairie Road during the St. Patrick's Day parade? How is that humanly possible? It is beyond unacceptable. This isn't liberal or conservative or black and white or whatever. It's humanity. It's human beings acting normal. And this is beyond unacceptable. Joe Lapinto, the sheriff's department in Jefferson needs to get involved. The St. Patrick's Day parade needs to get involved. With just the slightest bit of effort, they would be able to find out who did this. Ideally, there is some law where this guy could get arrested. At the very least, he is thrown out of the parade and at the most publicly identified. Maybe he gets fired from his job. Maybe people that work with him or, use him will stop using him. No, his life needs to be adversely affected by this. Can't just get away with it. Can't just get away with it. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Now, I don't know if it pisses me off, but it just, as a native New Orleanian, as a Louisiana native living in this community, it sickens me. And embarrassing is an understatement. I think about the child that caught that banana and what they feel. Some innocent child. Let's go to strawberry country. It's strawberry time right now. Louisiana strawberries. I mean, when you get some Louisiana strawberries compared to those ones out of California, night and day, so much better. Get a little whipped cream and you're rocking and rolling. Andre joins us in Hammond up the I-55. How you doing, Andre?
Oh, great. How are you?
I was doing pretty well, and just this N-bomb thing on the banana is just sort of insane. I don't understand people.
That's ridiculous. Yep.
Isn't it? In 2023? I mean, in 1823, it would be ridiculous. But in 2023, it's sort of mind-blowing.
Absolutely. Yep. Unreal.
I mean, it's supposed to be funny or creative or... Hey, we throw cabbage, a banana. We're going to put the N-bomb on that. Really?
Right. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's unbelievable.
Yep. You've been eating some of those strawberries from your backyard, basically?
A few. A few, yep.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to have a field, pick strawberries and keep all the strawberries you picked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, they good, for sure.
They really are. So good.
Yep.
What's on your mind, Andre?
I was going to try to answer one of your questions there. I don't know if anybody else called in on it, but the second most popular Cajun name.
Yeah, how would you know that for starters without cheating and using the internet device?
I don't. I'm just taking a wild guess. At it. I'm going to say Boudreaux.
You know, that would be my guess, I swear. You know, I wouldn't have guessed Hebert. I would have guessed Boudreaux as the number one.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense to me. Hebert's got like 20,000 plus. The second most has like 18,000 plus. It is not Boudreaux, Andre, but...
Oh, man.
No, so you are incorrect.
Yeah, you
Oh, well.
But I thought it was Boudreaux. I'm the host of the program, so I'm going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. How can I give you one when I thought that was the answer myself?
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate it.
Yep. I guess for you, you're kind of, one way or the other. I guess you go down I-12 to Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana or down to Mandeville, the new Mandeville location. So pick your poison on which Woodhouse Day Spa is most convenient for you, or I should say, who's getting that gift certificate?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I guess the Mandeville one would be great.
Who's going to get that? Girlfriend, wife, sister, daughter, mother?
My wife.
Excellent, Andre. Excellent. Yeah, I would have gone with Boudreaux myself.
Yeah, I thought for sure it would have been one or two, Maybe it's number 3.
Yep, exactly. I don't know what number 3 is. I bet you Boudreaux's got to be in the top 5 at worst.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hey, Andre, can you hang on in Hammond for a second so sure. Jason can get some info and we'll tighten you up with that gift certificate?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're right. That's Andre on the North Shore, up the I-55, strawberry country. Get to your Rouse's Market. You walk in Rouse's right by the front door there. The pints and pints and pints, hundreds of pints of local fresh strawberries from Hammond, from Springfield. So good. Let's head to Kennebra, where they land some large aircraft at a state-of-the-art facility. That access road's almost finished, too. How you doing, Michael?
What's going on over there?
Same old thing. What's going on over there, Brian? Kenna, dude?
I don't know, but I'm over here listening to this banana thing. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know nothing about it. I'm just hearing it. But, I mean, do we have to promote it and keep pushing it on the radio and making a big deal about it?
Yeah, of course.
For one, I hear the N-bomb everywhere I go.
That's a sad reality, isn't it?
It is. I hear it on the radio station. I hear it at the gas station. I hear it in the street. I hear when people talking, they sling it out. Now we got a banana thrown off a float, and it's a big deal. I mean, I think the big deal is who's running our city.
Oh, no, that's another topic, and you are 110% right.
Where's the black pastors and the black ministry having banners all over the city to boycott that word? Why is the word bad for the white people to say?
Oh, I got you. I understand now. You're talking about like you hear it from black people. You're saying.
Oh, that's all we hear.
Got you. You're not saying you hear it from white people. You're saying you hear it from black people.
We hear from the black community like it's normal. I hear it because the work I do, I'm into a lot of houses, and I hear it on the radio stations. I hear it on the TVs. I hear it.
No, there's lots of rap music with that word.
Exactly.
There's an angle, and I disagree with it, Michael, where black folks would say, white folks have been restricting us and telling us what we can say, what we can do for a long time. You're not going to take this word from us. And they say it's sort of a term of endearment in some ways and things like that amongst, blacks in the community. But I agree with you. I don't think it should be used in music. It's not a term of endearment.
Well, where's the local so-called leaders on that end to end that.
No, that's right. On that end, END, to end, END, that. No, I got you. To end the N-bomb. I got you. No, Michael, I'm in agreement with you. I think that's right. I don't think because you're black, you have a right to use that. That would be like an Italian using the derogatory Italian word, a Jew using the derogatory Jewish word, an Irish person using the derogatory Irish word. We go on and on and on that. No, it's you don't have a right because you're that.
So if we get a word and if they write it down on something or if they put it on fruit, vegetable, throw it, whatever, we have to put that in the limelight to make that news when we hear it all day and it's not news then.
Well, that's a valid point. I guess because Michael, the difference is it's coming in a hateful way from a white person in a racist way, you know. Like black folks are inferior to white folks, where in the black community, and I'm in agreement with you, but it's different in a way that they're not saying it in a derogatory or I'm superior to you type of way. But I'm in agreement. I don't think it should be said by black folks either. You're right.
Right, but it's more in a conversational tone to talk in that way.
No, it is. It is. It's not in a hurtful way. This banana thing was like in a hurtful, racist.
Now I don't
thought
know
it was
nothing
funny.
about the banana thing. I didn't see the news about it. I'm sure it happened. But how we know somebody didn't write that down there to start trouble?
There's that possibility as well. I mean, I don't believe that to be the case, but there's definitely been instances of that. We've seen that. It's the United States of America. Jesse Smollett, for the homosexual angle. No, you're right.
I was getting ready to say that. You guys said he got all that, but at the end of the day, he didn't.
No, you're right.
And look, everything's content. Everybody wants to get views. So if somebody just scribbles something on the banana.
Oh, no, they might be trying to just stir the pot. But wouldn't you safely say those are the low percentages? I mean, most gay hate crimes are real. The Smollett one wasn't. I would think most folks dropping the N-bomb that are racist, that's more of the percentage than, some black person trying to make that the case. But no, you make a lot of valid points, Michael. I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, well, I'm not arguing. I just want to say I'm sure the parade was a beautiful parade. I'm sure they had a lot of people having fun, families.
Yeah.
And we throwing that all out the window over a banana of something that the city hears constantly.
Michael and Kenner, you make a lot of good points. Thanks so much for the phone call. From Kennebra, Corey Johnson with you.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. For reservations, go to nola.woodhousespas.com. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my... You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, inagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen, Andeville.
Michael and Kenner brings up some interesting points. The black community dropping the N-bomb in conversation, in an endearing way to friends, in music, it's everywhere. Sometimes instead of an ER ending, it has an A ending in music. No, I think it should be off limits for everybody. You know, it'd be like an Italian guy using the opposite of night stop. The opposite of night stop. And say, oh man, I'm saying it to another Italian, so I got the right to say it? I don't think so. I think a homosexual can use the derogatory slurs with someone else who's gay. I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's off limits for everybody. So Michael makes a good point. And I guess there is that super small percentage that this could have been instigated by someone black or white, trying to stir the pot, trying to make something ugly out of a nice St. Patrick's Day parade. I would think the real high percentage, the reality is some idiot who's white that rode in the St. Patrick's Day parade that has a warped mentality that is just some broken fool, just a moron, did it. And I'd like to have that person by name, at the very least, exposed. So maybe he gets fired, or maybe people that work with him or do business with him no longer do it, where it affects his livelihood. And ideally, at most, that there was some law broken, some hate crime, no matter how petty you might think that is, and this guy gets arrested. No, his life needs to be affected by this stupidity. And yeah, at the super very least, he's ousted from the St. Patrick's Day crew, right? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? USA Today, the national newspaper, did a top 10 when traveling to New Orleans, top 10 restaurants you have to go to. When traveling to New Orleans, you're a tourist coming into New Orleans, you want the real flavor of the city, you got to go to Katie's. That was one in the top 10. It is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. More is better. More of the good things. That's what Scott Craig, owner, head chef, operator of Katie's, says. As New Orleans as it gets, yeah, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? USA Today nailed it, by the way. If you're a tourist, I mean, I'll rattle off a bunch of great restaurants from like Brightson's to Bayona to Irene's, nice high-end places that I would suggest you go to, Le Petit Grocery. But Katie's is as New Orleans as it gets, funky New Orleans flavor, literally and figuratively. Yeah, I understand why USA Today, the national newspaper, had that recommendation as a top 10 for travelers coming to the city. Wide open Wednesday, Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, 766-9480. Sheriff Susan Hutson, more than a dozen of her higher-ups, I kind of think like her pals, because most of Marlon Gussman's professionals that had decades of service with the sheriff department that know how it operates, they're ousted. They either left or were ousted by Sheriff Hutson. And who's her number two? Her former roommate, her pal, her buddy, Kristen Morales, who was fired by the Office of Inspector General for stealing, for theft. The minute she's fired, Susan Hutson scoops her up and gives her a nice salary, 6-figure salary. But this is the same Susan Hutson that, had a friend of hers making $180,000 doing what? We do not know. And then her son was getting fired by LaToya Cantrell, of all people, from the Juvenile Justice Center. And Hutson hires him. A disbarred lawyer? Disbarred. You can't be a lawyer for a year. Susan Hutson hires him as communications director. It's like the island of misfit toys. The train with the square wheels. That's the sheriff's office. But, Susan Hutson was at best managing 8 people prior to her gig as sheriff. Learning on the job in violent crime-ridden New Orleans. I don't know. That we like electing folks in Louisiana, New Orleans, because they have an R or a D behind their name, black or white. It's just mind-blowing. We lose because we get what we deserve. The chickens have come home to roost. Folks are just infatuated by black and white and Republican and Democrat, and not substance, not electing the best person, someone who might be smart, have leadership skills, is a change agent, going to stand up for us, the citizens, is civic-minded. No, we just get so dopey. It's why we fail in New Orleans versus other cities, and why we fail as a state versus other states, because we're infatuated with this dysfunction. We obviously like to lose. Losing's easy. Winning's hard. The rewards are great, but to get to those rewards, to win, it's difficult. Being a loser is easy. It's like yelling at someone, cursing at someone. Appreciate it. That, I guess, is a little harder, at least for some folks. Crazy. Speaking of appreciate, your wife, girlfriend, take care of her. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, stud earrings, and New Orleanians that know Friend and Company Fine Jewelers when it comes to engagement rings, a lifetime purchase. That's why Ken Friend and Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old exclusively, not 3-week-old man-made diamonds that are lab created. Even Blue Boy knows natural diamonds, the way to go. Don't get fooled. Go to Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Ken Friend will tell you about it in a second. 5 o'clock powwow next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is why most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAEast.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAEast.com, your cool spot.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
I just got this memo from corporate. The 5 o'clock power hour, the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on this wide open Wednesday has been canceled. We're going back 40 years. The Who Shot JR episode of Dallas, one of the most watched television programs of all time at that moment. Numbers that were, I don't know, getting close to the final MASH episode, the Super Bowl. It's time now for Dallas from 1983. All right, there's Mr. Drew Brees, old number 9 from La Jolla, California, his multi-million-dollar estate. Thank you for the intro, number 9. Corey Johnson with, Dallas. We got culture. Dallas is like veterans at Cleary for miles and miles and miles. Strip joints and strip malls. Welcome to Dallas, Texas. Boy, they have no culture there, and a lot of grown men wear Halloween costumes year-round, dressed up as a cowboy in a city. I don't know what that's all about, but I'd like their economy and their ridiculous growth and lots of college grads and young people, middle-aged people, old people moving to Dallas. Lots of moolah to be made in Dallas. And I'd say within a decade and a half, they'll be the 3rd largest metro in America, behind New York and Los Angeles, surpassing Chicago. Chicagoland, about 9.5 million in the metro, almost 10 million in Chicagoland, as they call it. Dallas, known as the Metroplex. Dallas, Fort Worth, and a whole lot of other towns and city, from like Wasatchie from the south to Plano to the north. It's crazy. Dallas is humongous. About 7.5, close to 8 million in the Metroplex of Dallas. So they're only about 1.5 million, under 2 million behind Chicagoland. Houston, not very far behind Dallas. Houston's got like, D.C., Baltimore, metro area, almost a San Fran, San Jose type metro area. Getting close. They'll probably slip past D.C. and San Fran in a few years. I've said this before on the program. Many counties make up all these metroplexes, just like New Orleans. I think New Orleans metro is like 8, 9, 10 parishes. One of the Houston counties is Harris County, the major Houston county, the biggest one. They have more people in Harris County, Texas, Harris County in Houston than all of Louisiana. More people in Harris County than the state of Louisiana. Every city, every town, everywhere in Louisiana, more population in Harris County. There's something wrong with that on so many levels. Like, who wants to be there? It's too crowded. That's crazy. But also, my God, the economy, the amount of people moving there. Could only dream of that in New Orleans. We've been same population for 40 years. We had that Houston, Dallas, Atlanta growth in the 70s. Literally, we grew by more than 30%. In 1970, New Orleans surpassed 1 million in the metro. In 1970, A little over 1 million people in Metro New Orleans. And that's pre-North Shore. Basically, Orleans and Jefferson and, a little bit in St. Bernard where life is hot, and some other parishes. But primarily Orleans and Jefferson, about 1 million plus folks. The decade of the 70s, New Orleans Metro grew by 300,000 plus folks. We went from 1 million in 1970 to about 1.3 million in 1980. And for the last 40 plus years, total stagnation. The oil busts of 82, 83, and we have simply never, ever recovered from that 40 friggin' years ago. Mind-blowing. Not to beat a dead horse or sound like a broken record, but our next-door neighbor, Texas, fastest growing state in the country the last 30, 40 years. The South as a region, fastest growing region in the country. Basically, every southern state's got like double-digit growth. The ones that don't have at least some growth, like even Arkansas and Mississippi, South Carolina. 5, 6, 7, 8% growth the last 30, 40 years. Burning gas, beating up the engine, and not moving anywhere. Worse, just splattering mud over whatever's behind the vehicle. Stuck in mud. It is a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. A slew of topics. Sheriff Susan Hutson setting up some of her higher-ups at hotel rooms during Mardi Gras. Taxpayer expense, about $20,000. Marlon Gusman, the NOPD. No one else does this. Hudson's deputy sheriff, Kristen Morales, who was fired from the Office of Inspector General for theft, gets immediately scooped up by Susan Hutson because it's Susan Hudson's friend, her pal, her former roommate. I got you, roomie. You want a 6-figure job? I'll make you deputy sheriff. Assistant Sheriff Laura Veazey, also staying in a hotel room over Mardi Gras. They live in the city. Hey, I'm 5 minutes from my house, but I'm staying in a hotel room. Isn't it fun? $20,000 taxpayer expense for absolutely no reason. None. A 17-year-old robbed at gunpoint in New Orleans East, waiting on a bus. Bundy and Dwyer, about 6:15 in the morning. They caught the two robbers that robbed the 17-year-old at gunpoint. 2 female juveniles arrested. Wow. Speaking of wow, T-Mobile is buying actor Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile for $1.35 billion. Reminds me of George Clooney and the Tequila Company, Conor McGregor, the fighter with proper 12 Irish whiskey. Gee. Jason, maybe you and I need to come up with like a beer product or some alcohol, and then we can sell it to a major distiller for billions. This is just a nauseating story. St. Patrick's Day parade last Saturday on Metairie Road. Some black child catches a banana. And on that banana is the N-word, the N-bomb written on the banana. I just think about that black child catching the banana. And at first I'm assuming they're thinking, oh, it's like cabbage. They're throwing fruits and vegetables type of thing. But the banana is not a usual St. Patrick's Day throw, and obviously a throw with the N-bomb on it, on a banana. Just, I don't get it at all. The point, someone thought that was funny. Someone thought that was creative. I mean, it's below kindergarten, but it's vile, disgusting, mean. I'm thinking about the poor black kid that catches that banana and sees the N-bomb on the banana. And then his parents and the discomfort they must felt. And should we not be here on Metairie Road? Now, I don't blame the St. Patrick's Day parade. Reportedly, the president of the parade said it doesn't represent us. But They need to find out who that joker is, who that loser is, and he's out of the parade. Ideally, Joe Lapinto and the JPSO, the sheriff's department, maybe they can arrest this guy. Maybe there's some crime he committed, some hate crime that he committed. Get his name out in the public so he can get fired from his job, or people that work with him or, use him for something won't do that any longer. No, this idiot, this hurtful human being needs to be exposed for what is. N-bomb on a banana thrown to a black child during the St. Patrick's Day parade. Rouse's Market's phone lines are open, 766-9480. 766-9480. Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution since 1940. You tired of your dry cleaner? You looking to experience the best dry cleaner? Find out more about them online, youngsdrycleaning.com. Go online right now. Experience the best. youngsdrycleaning.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour, brought to you by Trey Yen in Mandeville. You on his way right now? Why don't you fire in a to-go order, curbside delivery? That phone number at Trey Yen, you know the area code 985 on the North Shore. Trey Yen phone number 626-4476. 626-4476. To-go orders from Trey Yen, or go dine at Trey Yen. North Shore folks, foot of the causeway. South Shore folks, just 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. It's Trey Yen in Mandeville. I've been jonesing for some Trey Yen. It's been about a week since I grabbed some hot pepper chicken. I might go get that lemon chicken. That's a great dish. Or one of the many Tong Cho dishes like the whole speckled trout or maybe that flounder. Trey Yen is fantastic over there in Mandeville. It is a Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, on Wide Open Wednesday, you're the show producer. Maybe there's a topic we're missing, not talking about. You want to discuss it? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, speaking of Trey Yen in Mandeville, the Mandeville location of the Woodhouse Day Spa opened yesterday. That means 5 area locations. 2 on the South Shore, New Orleans, and Metairie near North Kenner. 2 on the North Shore, Slidell, and now Mandeville. And, of course, the Baton Rouge location by the Mall of Louisiana. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to celebrate the Mandeville opening yesterday. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. I got some trivia questions. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 766-9480. The second most popular Cajun. That's got to be top 3 to 5, huh? Looking for the second most popular Cajun name, and there is an elected statewide official that has that last name. Hey, no intranet device, no search engines. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The United States' costliest natural disaster? Hurricane Katrina. What's the United States' costliest man-made disaster? 766-9480. The Treaty of Paris. What did that accomplish? What did the Treaty of Paris do? By the way, New Orleans part of that. In 1937, this New Orleans recipe became what sugary treat, dessert, or even breakfast item? A North Carolina company with red and green colored logo pushes that New Orleans recipe. He was a Tennessee native, former governor of Florida, a presidential candidate, and a New Orleans hero. Give you a little hint. We have a statue of this cat. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. French Quarter streetcar line that went through the Marigny, ended in Bywater, and it ended at a Bywater street that bears the old streetcar's name, the line's name from the French Quarter. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. The N-bomb on the banana at the Metairie St. Patrick's Day parade last Saturday, thrown from a float, reportedly, to a young black child. Catches a banana, it's got the N-bomb written on it. Just beyond sickening. It's 2023 for crying out loud. Let's go to the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480 to Metairie, Louisiana, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic. Lots and lots of traffic. What up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, Corey?
How you doing, man?
All right. It's a beautiful day.
It is a gorgeous afternoon, man. This morning it was, hat, gloves, scarf weather, like 40-something degrees, probably felt like 40. And now it feels like 70. It's sunny. You can wear shorts and a T-shirt. Gorgeous afternoon in New Orleans, Mark.
Yep, it is. I want to try to take a guess at the Cajun name.
All right. Second most popular Cajun name. A-Bear's number one.
I'm going to say Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Yeah, someone answered Boudreaux. Thibodeau's a damn good answer, Mark. I wouldn't have thought Thibodeau. I would have thought Boudreaux, but you are incorrect. Yeah, you wrong.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
What do you think? I want you to talk about something. I want you to talk about Zion Williams. Don't you think we ought to get rid of? I don't think this dude played 15 games the whole time he's been here.
I know Zion and Ingram under Willie Green have played a dozen games total together. A dozen.
Yeah, I think it's time to get rid of the guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Mark. I don't think he needs to be playing the point forward. He doesn't need to be bringing the ball up the court. Can he do that? Yes. Shaquille O'Neal, I've seen him run the court with the ball. I'm not saying he could run the point center, but I think Zion Williamson needs to play the small or power forward position exclusively. And there has to be a way to kind of preserve his body. And he shed about 30 pounds this offseason. He probably needs to shed another 20 pounds or so. I don't think he's like fat, but he's just too big. And I think, his frame and the weight he is carrying, it's just too much for the joints and, ankles, knee, hip, whatever. Hamstring, injured twice. When you re-injure the same hamstring, recovering from the original injury, it's not good. No, Ingram has some injury problems. Anthony Davis, when he was here, had injury problems. No, it stinks when you have like an all-star, all-pro type of player, and they're maybe more injured than active. It's just devastating because you know what they can do. Some average player injured, you don't care necessarily.
Right, because he's real good when he's playing, but, he's not ever playing. I was going to go and check out a few games, but, he got injured, and I want to see him play. But I don't know. I didn't go. I ended up not going to any other game.
No, you C.J. McCollum is, hot and cold this season. He's had some games where he's just off shooting. Ingram's been injured a lot of the year. And Zion Williamson. Those are your top three players. You get those guys on the court playing, better than not most of the time. And you've got a top 4 seed team in the West. Right now, with the injuries, they're barely making it into the playoff. They're like the 10th seed right now, 11th seed. So they're on the brink of not making the playoffs right now.
You going to fill out a Final Four card, Corey?
I haven't filled out a Final Four card in 25 years, I bet, Mark.
Yeah, I haven't filled one out in a long time.
Yeah, no, I don't mess with that too much, but I'll keep up on it a little bit, and as it funnels down to 32, 16, 8, and 4, I'll be watching a little bit of that.
Yeah, me too. All right, Corey, I'm always listening to you, and I enjoy the show, man.
Hey, Mark, real quick, you're calling from Metairie. What do you think of this N-bomb on the banana at the Metairie St. Patrick's Day parade last Saturday? Some black kid catches a banana and it's got the N-bomb written on it. That's just, I don't know what that poor child's thinking. Some innocent kid, and then his parents seeing that, and then some white dude on the float came up with that idea and thought it was creative or funny. I don't know. It's sickening, just mind blowing. I don't have the vocabulary to really describe what this is in 2023, especially.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Well,
in this world today, nothing surprises me, Corey.
Well, I mean, something's got to surprise you. And I mean, racism, sure, I get that. But someone taking the time, hey, instead of a cabbage, I'm going to throw a banana. I'm going to write the N-bomb on it. I'm going to make sure I throw it to some black kid or black family or black adult. I mean, all that effort, that surprises me a little bit in 2023. Not you?
Well, not really.
Wow.
When all the, when you watch the news, it's nothing but horror stories. Look at a 15-year-old kid drags a lady to death. I mean,
yep. No, the news
really surprises me anymore.
No, I hear you. I can't argue with you on that. It is disheartening, though. What don't you think that? I mean, maybe Lapinto and the JPSO can arrest the guy. Maybe there's some crime. If not that, at the very least, he gets tossed out the parade. At the most, let his name be known, so maybe he gets fired, Mark.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. He ought to be punished for that. But, if they want to, like you say, if they want to and they look into it, they could probably pin it down.
They could pin it down, and I'd like to see his life adversely affected, his livelihood, his job, who he is. So you don't want to excuse that behavior, just let it go. And then a caller, Michael from Kenner last hour, was saying, man, I hear that word all the time, people saying it. I hear it in music, hear it on the radio. And I thought he was talking about white people saying it. He's like, no, black people saying it. Is it?
No, because I was in a restaurant this morning, and we was doing some work in there before it opens up. And that's all they had on was rap and all kind of crap on there. But I really don't listen to rap, but it's some crazy stuff, man.
Should black people be able to use it? Should gay folks be able to use homophobic slurs?
I'm black, and I never did like anybody calling me that.
Even like in an endearing way, like one of your friends.
No.
I mean,
no, because I told black people don't call me that.
No, I got you, and you don't want to hear it in music and.
No, it's degrading, and it don't do anything for me.
You know Professor Edwards, the guy with the beard from California, black professor, like Cal Berkeley maybe. He said, and it makes sense, he's like, white people have been telling black folks what they can do, how they can do it, slavery to even, just segregation, still not equal to this day, on and on and on. He's like, black people feel empowered using the word like, hey, white guy, you're not going to tell me I can't use it. And that sort of a psychological explanation on why black folks use it. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I just don't think it's right. And I don't think the word should be used by anybody.
You'd have to really get me mad to call somebody that. But I'm not saying I never have. But I've been I grew up in the North. I got in St. Louis. I dealt with a lot of racial stuff. So,
yep. No, I bet you did.
I live a pretty good life, and I know some good white people. I know some good black people. I know some bad white people, and I know some bad black people.
Same here, Mark. Yep.
So, it just goes around. That's all.
No, it does. And you probably like me, you just avoid those people.
Yeah, I just avoid the bad people.
Yeah, why bring that into your life? There's nothing good hanging around those idiots.
Exactly. And so I've lived a pretty good life. But, I've been encountered racism and all kind of crap.
No, I bet you have, man. It's the United States of America. Just so overt with this banana thing.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
It's just depressing and disheartening and sad and pathetic. Anyway, Mark and Metri, thanks so much.
All right, Corey. I've been listening to you.
Yeah, you're right. I appreciate that. That's Mark in Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. Hey, the Mandeville Woodhouse Day Spa opened yesterday. There's 5 area Woodhouse locations now. To celebrate, I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates, gift cards, 50 big bucks. Good at any of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. 2 on the South Shore, new store, yesterday opening, Mandeville. And of course, Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Second most popular Cajun name, the United States' costliest man-made disaster. What did the Treaty of Paris accomplish? In 1937, this New Orleans recipe became what item? He's a Tennessee native, former governor of Florida, presidential candidate, and a New Orleans hero. There's a statue of him in New Orleans. The old French Quarter streetcar line. What was the name of that line? If you have the answer to any of these trivia questions, I've got 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Hey, no intranet device, no search engines. You either know the answer or you markets phone lines to participate. 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. That's in Kenner, right on the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Right on the corner, right on the price. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park investing tens of millions of dollars in that state-of-the-art facility. And Ronnie's just getting started, apparently. After doing all of that at the Lamarck Automotive Complex, he scoops up the legendary Ford truck dealership, Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies. Located in Harahan, Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Medier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAEast.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAEast.com, your cool spot.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. For reservations, go to nola.woodhousespas.com. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have.
Something like that.
The power of Colt 45. It works every time.
The absolute weakest commercial in the history of commercials. She's pouring a Colt 45. Something like that. But how can you bust on Billy D. Williams? He landed more women than planes land at a busy airport. It's insane. Billy D. Williams, Colt 45 brand malt liquor. Most definitely not a sponsor of this program. Fausto's Italian Bistro is. They open their doors at 5. I actually went last night. Veal piccata, fettuccine Alfredo. Sat at the bar and watched the Pelicans get ripped by the Lakers. Ouch. It was fantastic. Indoor dining, outdoor dining. Look at the weather outside. They're open right now. Why don't you go sit outside tonight and go get a great dinner? Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian can be found at Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. It is a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you till 6 o'clock. The N-bomb written on a banana at the Metairie St. Patrick's Day parade. Thrown from someone reportedly from a float and caught by a black kid. Isn't that nice? A black kid catches a banana, not a cabbage, but a banana. And then it's got the N-bomb written on it with like a Sharpie or a pen. Seriously? 2023. St. Patrick's Day parade. Reportedly, the St. Patrick's Day president is like, that doesn't represent us. I believe that. But also, I think that that wrote on the banana and threw it, he didn't just do that like hidden or arbitrarily. He showed friends on the float before the parade, look what I've got. Maybe there was more than one. Saved it to throw it to some black kid or a black family. So that guy can easily be found. The float probably can be identified easily. There might even be video of it. You definitely could question a few people in the parade and find out who that individual is. I think Joe Lapinto and the JPSO needs to do a little investigating because I don't think it would be that hard to find out who this person is. Ideally, he gets arrested for some hate crime violation or something. That would be ideal. At the very least, he gets thrown out of the St. Patrick's Day parade and maybe just exposed by name so his employer can fire him. So people that do business with him can cease doing that with him. This jerk's livelihood most definitely needs to be affected by this. This isn't just something that was a bad prank, a bad joke, some fraternity type thing. No, this person needs to pay. Needs to pay. Arrest would be great. Getting his name out there would be great. Getting fired from his job would be great. His livelihood adversely affected would be great. No longer able to ride ever in the St. Patrick's Day parade, lifetime ban would be great. And I think this individual, it'd be easier than more difficult. It would be easier than difficult to find out who this jerk is. And I think that needs to happen. That needs to happen. The St. Patrick's Day president who reportedly said, not who we are, doesn't represent us. I believe him. But that's not enough. I think he can easily find out by talking to members who that individual was and turn his name over to Joe Lapinto and the sheriff's office, turn his name over to the media. So his full name, photo, all of that is published. Everybody sees who that idiot is. Now, I feel for the black child that caught the banana with the N-bomb written on it. Just inexcusable, 110% unacceptable. Like I said, mind-blowing. Just sad. Just sad. Sheriff Susan Hutson, more than a dozen of her sheriff deputies or employees of the sheriff's office over Mardi Gras, staying at hotels when they live 5, 10, 20 minutes away, somewhere in New Orleans. $20,000 in taxpayer money going to these hotels. Plus, it's Mardi Gras. Some tourist wants that hotel room. Occupancies are like 100%. Deputy Sheriff Kristen Morales, who was fired by the Office of Inspector General for theft, immediately gets hired by Sheriff Susan Hutson. Why? Because Kristen Morales is Susan Hudson's friend, her pal, former roommate. They lived together. They shared a house or apartment. She hires her. She was staying at a hotel, as was Assistant Sheriff Laura Veazey. Susan Hudson's known for hiring a friend who made $180,000 a year, a woman, $180,000 a year. Doing what? We have no idea. No law enforcement expertise. Didn't work in the sheriff's office before. Just Susan Hudson's friend. she hires her son, who was the Juvenile Justice Center director, who got word that LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, of all people, was going to fire him, dismiss him from his job. He resigns instead before he could get terminated. Susan Hutson hires him. A disbarred attorney gets disbarred. You can't be a lawyer for a year in Louisiana. Susan Hutson hires him as communications director. And Sheriff Susan Hutson, the most people she was the boss of, that she oversaw, eight people. She has no law enforcement on her resume. In New Orleans, we feel compelled to elect her as sheriff. Learning on the job. We have time or room for learning on the job for the sheriff, City of New Orleans Parish Sheriff, when we have a violent crime problem going on in New Orleans. Speaking of, a 17-year-old robbed at gunpoint, 17, at a New Orleans East bus stop, waiting on the bus at Bundy and Dwyer about 6:15 in the morning. They arrest the two folks that robbed the 17-year-old at gunpoint. It's two female juveniles arrested. Two female juveniles arrested. No, just mind-blowing. T-Mobile buying actor Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile for $1.35 billion. Wow. Reminds me of George Clooney in the tequila business. Clooney and his friend start a tequila label. They sell it for hundreds of millions of dollars. Conor McGregor, Proper 12 Irish whiskey. He profits hundreds of millions of dollars when it's sold. Corey Johnson vodka, available at your favorite stores today. Yikes. Wow. Hey, every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. River City's Total Maintenance, your air conditioning and heating answer. These guys know what they're doing. It's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. They're air conditioning and heating experts. They come immediately if you need heat or AC help. And they've been at it for over 40 years in South Louisiana. NOLAAC.com if you need AC or heat help. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
It is crawfish season in South Louisiana, in New Orleans. You know who's got you covered? Rouse's Markets. Best quality, best price, best selection. You want to boil the crawfish yourself? Get them live by the sack at each and every Rouse's location. Or if you just want to enjoy hot from the pot crawfish, literally hot from the pot. You don't want to do any boiling. You just want to eat them. Rouse's has hot from the pot crawfish all day long at every Rouse's location. And this is South Louisiana. New Orleans is Rouse's. So like the king cakes that are authentic and some of the best anywhere, same with the crawfish. Great live crawfish by the sack that you can boil yourself, and some of the best tasting boiled crawfish ready to eat that you can find anywhere. At your neighborhood Rouse's Market, tastes like home. It's crawfish season. Make it Rouse's Markets. What, over 60 Rouse's, doing it for over 60 years. About 1/3 of all Rouse's are in Metro New Orleans. It truly is New Orleans grocery store. And it's crawfish season. Make it Rouse's Market. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. Just a sickening story. This N-bomb on the banana at the Metairie Road St. Patrick's Day parade from last Saturday. Reportedly thrown from a float. A black kid catches it. A black child. Innocent black kid. Catches a banana. Not a cabbage, a banana. And on the banana, written in like a Sharpie, the N-bomb. The N-word. Just crazy. Obviously, that guy needs to be identified. He needs to never, ever ride in the St. Patrick's Day parade again. Banned for life. Ideally, there's some hate crime where Sheriff Joe Lapinto can charge this joker. And I'd like to see his name, first and last name, photo, made public. So maybe his boss sees it and fires him. Maybe people that work with him or do business with him no longer will do that. This guy's life needs to be adversely affected by this, because this isn't some fraternity prank. This is a hate-filled, sickening, disheartening, discouraging nightmare. What's that, Blue Boy? Entirely unacceptable, no doubt. What else, buddy? It's 2023. What a pathetic human being. Blue Boy, you're right on the money again. Thanks for joining us on this Wide Open Wednesday. See you tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.